So this is Maelstrom, and I'm actually on my way to the Southport Cafe. I'm going to actually try out this gyro that one of my friends told me about. I'm so happy that the weather is finally warm. It's like really hard to film a video when there's like a lot of cars going by, like especially when people don't have their mufflers. Anyways, yeah, this is where I live. It's kind of like, it's a small town, small college town in Wisconsin. Like as the weather starts to get warm, I always feel like my spirit is lifting, you know, like I feel like I'm just able to be a little bit more happy and revitalized, and I can sort of see it around with a lot of people. I'm gonna show you like my walk. So I'm about to enter this Southport Cafe. They're seriously like one of the best places in my town to eat. I go here pretty often, mostly for breakfast, but I've never gone here for like dinner. But yeah, I don't know if I can take my camera in here though. I've never like vlogged in public before. We'll see, but I'm gonna turn it off just for right now. I don't know if I should film. So I finished my dinner at the Southport Cafe. I'm actually going for a walk right now. We're at the White Path. This is actually in the town that I live in. Not too far from where I live, maybe about a 10-minute walk. But yeah, there's like a nice river here. And yeah, I go jogging here a lot. It's a great place for walking. Whoa, a squirrel. Let's see if we can see it. Do you see it? Oh, little guy. I think I scared him. So, I've definitely learned a couple of things after about 2 days of having my camera permanently attached to my face and my hand. One thing I've learned is that I'm actually way shyer than I thought. I mean, I tend to think of myself as like a person who feels fairly comfortable with like talking and expressing myself. But I think it's really a different experience when you have to explain why you have a camera in your face, you know, and sort of like justify that. I don't know, so it's kind of an odd thing. I just couldn't bring myself to like film inside of the restaurant. I felt like that was like crossing a boundary that I wasn't comfortable crossing. Or it seems like it might have just been like a little bit intrusive if I had done that, because other people don't really sign up to be a part of this sort of thing, and I don't want to like, you know, take advantage of that. So we're gonna go take a look at the ducks. They're pretty cool. Walking through this particular path, I have like so many memories in this town, you know, like I'm not really from Wisconsin. I grew up in Oklahoma. Yeah, this place feels like home. I mean, I went to college here and all my friends live in this general area. And it almost feels like the places that I visit here are almost like they're like storage. It's like storage for my memories, you know? Like certain spots contain history for me, you know? And it's hard to escape that when you live in a small town. it's really hard to escape that. I mean, it's beautiful, but it can also be quite daunting as well. So this is one of my favorite spots actually. It's near the end of the trail, but you can see the entire Lake George from here. It's really weird how life changes so fast. I'm kind of growing nostalgic, so I'm gonna have to like leave. But yeah, a good spot, good spot. I was gonna go home, but I didn't really feel like it, so I'm just hanging out underneath one of my favorite trees right now. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. This tree's name is gonna be Jeffrey. It's kind of arbitrary, but good old Jeffrey. Anyways, yeah, I think I spend like way too much time alone. It's kind of unintentional though, but I'm a very independent person. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I mean, it definitely isn't like, it's definitely not like 100% great, but I would say that there are benefits and definitely cons to being a loner. I mean, like, I'm so lucky that I can like have like these moments where I can just literally come to the park almost anytime I want, you know, and just sort of sit and enjoy the solitude and the quietness. There are very few things that get in the way of me being able to like have that, you know. So that's a huge blessing, to sort of have that relaxed, quiet lifestyle. Then like sometimes I wish that there was more. That there was more that I was doing, you know. I mean, I'm a full-time grad student, and you know, I'm always kind of like working on projects and stuff, but yeah, I wish that, yeah, sometimes I just wish that there was more. I don't live very far from like Minneapolis or St. Paul, so I'm probably going to try to move. I'm probably going to try to move to the cities here by the end of the summer. Mostly because I'll be graduating school pretty soon, in the next year and a half. And it would be nice to sort of be in an environment where I can see myself, you know, getting a decent job and, you know, making more long-term plans. So, yeah, Minneapolis might be a good place to go. I mean, it's not a bad city. I mean, there's really a lot that it has to offer. Like, they have a great culture, a lot of young people, you know. It's a very affordable city to live in, especially for creative people. So it might actually end up being a very good environment for me to live in. I mean, I don't really feel like there's much reason for me to stick around here. I mean, this is where I went to undergrad, and I love this place. But, I mean, I don't expect that my friends are going to stay around here. I mean, once they're done and, you know, get their shit together, they're probably going to leave. And I don't want to be like the last person trying to hold on to this, you know. Yeah. I guess we all have to like sort of know when to move on. It's kind of the thing. You know, the weird thing about like YouTube and like making these videos is that really you're just talking to yourself, you know? Like, it almost feels like this anthropological study on like human behavior. I mean, it's definitely like this like trend that exists in my generation of people, you know, people probably from the ages of like, you know, 23 to like 27. And so like, I don't know, like being able to like talk about things in front of the camera and to give these like sort of confessional like conversations to the camera. It almost feels natural. This is all we really know, you know? When I was in 6th grade, I was blogging. I had my own like website, you know, and all throughout like high school and middle school, I was doing that. I was making websites and I was talking about my day and I was putting it out there and connecting with people online, and you know, that's just who I am, you know? And so I mean, now with like Facebook and other forms of social media, it's much easier. It's much simpler to do, and it doesn't take as much work. It's more than just, you know, just impulsive social media whoring. It's like this is the format of journaling that is best expressed during our day and age, you know. Because I think it is important to like share our thoughts, because everything that we feel as individuals, you know, it's resonant within our culture. You know, I remember when I was like I want to say like the 8th grade, and I had about like 5 or 6 different blogs that I was following, people who I, you know, didn't even really know at all in person, but something about reading their blogs and, you know, just hearing like and seeing their transparency online, it sort of like helped me to understand my own life, you know. I just remember like, you know, like Lycos or Angel Fire or like those old, like LiveJournal and like all that old stuff, you know, where people really like just like they cut the BS and got down to like just their lives, you know, and people were not ashamed of just being honest. People weren't obsessed with like building these brands and like trying to sell you shit. It was just people being themselves and not being afraid of sharing that online. And you know, with that whole culture, people connected themselves together. You know, it was people like myself, for example, who are like introverted and like who have perhaps some niche interests, who just wanted to connect with other people who were like-minded, no matter where they were from or what culture they were a part of, or, you know, age or gender. None of that stuff really mattered. You know, all that mattered was what was on the page. You know, I mean, obviously I can't judge other people because I don't really know, but I do think that something in our culture is definitely unhealthy, and it has to do with this whole notion of like personal brands and how our identities are being sort of like suctioned up into this whole concept of business. You know, it's like we're not individuals anymore. We're like these, you know, walking businesses, and, you know, we measure ourselves, you know, through clout scores and through how many followers we have, and like that whole thing is, I think it's just becoming really toxic, and no one really talks about it. At least no one who has the ability to have that social penetration. No one really like seems to address the toxicity of the whole direction that this thing is moving in. You know, if a person has 1 million followers, does that actually mean anything? Does that say anything about their character or their virtue? Does it say anything about their competence or the value of their opinion or beliefs? I mean, it must say something, right? Because obviously, you know, people are able to make a living doing that, and, you know, like these people who become social media representatives, they're almost like this democratic force, right? Like they're this group of people who, through social democracy, are able to gain attention, and their opinions become valued. I would almost consider it like a sort of, you know, political arrangement. Well, at least I had a good afternoon. I'm probably gonna I'm gonna try to get some homework done now that I'm almost home. I don't know how often I'm gonna make these videos. I'm just gonna kind of feel my way along. I don't really have any expectations for this whole project, to be honest. I'm just doing it as I feel. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is Maelstrom, and I'll see you later. Bye.